Hey everybody, I'm Becca Salomon. Welcome to Wildflower Western Lifestyle Live. We are sharing everything about the West and just the heart and soul of the American West. It could be horses, dancing, anything like that, dude ranches, and we just want to share the love of the Western lifestyle. So today, I'm really excited to have a couple of special guests on the show with me today. The new friends of mine that we went out dancing together the other
We
night.
did.
They are the owners of Lakeside Dancers, and we have Marnie Mattei. I hope I said
Yes,
that right. And
correct.
Rick Moore.
Yeah,
Welcome to
Yeah.
the show, guys. How y'all doing?
great.
Thank
Glad to be
you.
here.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having us.
Yes.
I'm glad y'all came, and like I said, we went out dancing the other night. Y'all invited us to come dancing, and
Hmm.
we went down to Alabama's little bit of Texas, which is a great
Right,
honky tonk down there, and we tonk
Yeah.
Alabama, and
right.
had a great time. And so I was like, well, gosh, we should do a show. So here we are.
Right. Yay.
All right, yeah. So I guess what I want to do is just kind of start and get y'all's dance background because you're world champion dancers, and
Yeah.
we have such a resource here in Alabama in y'all. And I just want to get your how you got started in dance. So who wants to go first?
Okay. I guess I'll start.
Okay.
I'm from the Alex City area, and I started when I was 3 with Miss Jenny here in Alex City. So I took ballet, tap, tumbling from 3 until 12. And then you get to this awkward age where you're a little too big for the class anymore. So after going to college in Auburn, I moved to Huntsville and started line dancing. So loved line dancing
Oh
there.
yeah.
Got to get back into dancing. And then work took me to Arizona. Um, and in Arizona, I started couples dancing. Um, Loved it. Did that as a hobby with my full time job, which was in engineering. Um, Loved dancing. Took lots of hours of coaching. I started at a place called Graham Central Station, which was a
Okay.
huge nightclub. And I had
Cool.
never seen anything like that. And I just fell in love with it. So started social dancing and then met a couple that was competing. And they got me, I went to see them compete and fell in love with that. So I started competing in 2004. So that's been what, 24 years ago.
Wow,
So
that's awesome.
loved dancing, loved the camaraderie, meeting people, and uh, learned learned quite a bit. Loved dancing, um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
eventually started teaching as well. So
Okay.
we would compete at 7 to 8 events a year, and then go to Worlds. So my background was going up through the ranks: newcomer, novice, intermediate, advanced. And then we got to the graduated divisions, which was Crown, and competed there for a lot of years, and have 10 world titles in couples dancing and one in
Wonderful.
teams. So,
That's
so
fantastic.
it's been a wonderful journey.
So who trained you as you went up?
Like I said, I started in the bar. The lady's name was Sandy Nelson. Wonderful resource. She got so many people started in Arizona. And then I did pro am. I figured out my partner and I were dancing together, but not getting not improving as quickly as we wanted. So we started what's called pro am, where you dance with a pro, and that way you get to work on your own skills.
Right.
So I danced with Erin Lorenzen, and my partner danced with Tiffany. So it was just a great training resource. And then when I moved to Crown, my primary coach was Ronnie DiBitterdetta. So if you've been in country music, everybody knows and loves Ronnie. And then a lot of teachers along the way as well. Janelle Moranto also was, when you get to a certain level, you say, oh, well, my basics aren't as clean as I want. So we started completely over again working on waltz basics.
Wow.
So it's a never-ending process of
People don't really
learning.
realize how
Right.
important the movements are and how precise they are.
Right.
Well, talk a little bit about that.
Um, well, what you learn in layers. So you learn the basic baseline steps. Um, so we teach a class as an example of two-step. So maybe people have taken 8 weeks and they think, oh, well, I've learned everything there is about two-step.
Mm.
No, you
No.
learned layer one and maybe layer two, but there's 500 layers you've got
Right,
to learn. So
right.
the
So
next
peel that
time,
onion.
even if
That's
you
right.
took exactly the same class, you would learn more. You would
Yes,
learn different things you didn't hear the first time. So
definitely.
it's definitely in layers.
Yes, Rick, let's switch to you real quick and get your background a little bit before we move forward.
Well, I
Where,
want to say one thing. Marnie is a judge, so when she teaches, even if you're not interested in competition, but still competition is kind of a good goal. And so she has her criteria where it's, if I'm going to, timing, rhythm, motion. I mean, and I had to even learn the definition of what those things meant because to me, timing and rhythm were the same thing. And but she breaks it down, and the judges have this criteria of how they judge you. And once you start this type of training, I mean, it becomes second nature. And when other people see you dancing, they know you're better, or they see something, but
right,
they can't even figure it out. But what it is, there's a method, and Marnie is very mechanical. She's an engineer, whatever. Everything has got a system and a way it all works out. And for me, I'm very appreciative of that because I'm a mechanic, and so the engineering mechanical stuff just goes hand in hand.
makes
Okay, so I
sense.
love the way she teaches, and it helps me, and I understand, the criteria and almost like the hierarchy of what's important, what's makes it better, and what's kind of makes it pretty, because they
Okay,
all have their place.
right.
But anyway,
And
so
did you start like when I didn't even get your background yet, but I'm going right into the relationship.
right.
Did y'all start where you were her student?
No,
Well,
um,
he came to a group class, but
I
he
Okay.
can't do
has his own history of
it.
dancing in Atlanta. Maybe bring up your
Yeah,
history as well,
Yeah.
Rick.
yeah. I was in Atlanta after being in the military. I worked for Delta Airlines as an aircraft mechanic, jet engine mechanic. And in the '90s, I went through a divorce, and my buddies started taking me to country bars because I didn't even like country music. I was a rock and roll.
Uh-oh.
I still love rock and roll. Okay, but they were taking me to the country bars, and I saw so many pretty ladies, and there was a lot of activity and a lot of the dancing. And line dancing was like crazy. And a
Oh, it was
buddy of
huge.
mine, who I'm still good friends with, he quit dancing, but I kept progressing, whatever. We would go and started learning the line dances, everything. And then a few years later, I found out about some couples classes and started taking those. And my instructor there was Deborah Kleckler, which I love to death. And she's like a second mom.
I love her.
And, she's real big in obviously NTA, for teaching dance instructors. And when she saw me, and I guess I don't, I don't know if she was kind of hoping or kind of recruiting me. They're always looking for guys for their dance team. They had a dance team in Atlanta called Local Motion, and so I got in that, and a lot of great people. They were like another family to me in Atlanta.
Mhm.
And we did shows around and festivals. We never competed. So, like Marnie and her team and Which Worlds, we never competed. But it was still a great time. It was like a family, and it just we feed off each other, and everything. And through that, I started helping my instructor Deborah Kleckler teach over in Atlanta. And then when I retired, COVID hit. I decided to sell my place in Atlanta and move back home to Alabama. Well, I searched around for a year or so, maybe 2 years, whatever. And finally, I saw on Facebook or somebody told me they had couples dancing, like two step and West Coast swing and whatnot, at this bar in Wetumpka. So I went over there, and Marnie was teaching and everything, and met her. and she was married then to the other instructor, and then uh, through, I guess, changes in life and different things, they went through a divorce, and she approached me and asked if I would help her teach classes here in our area. And I was like, great, And she offered to do pro-am competition, and I declined quickly, and that was no interest of mine. Whatever, over the years, but anyway, going to all these competitions we would go to, and I was the only one that wasn't competing, and our friends and other competitors dancing with Marnie, other students, and I'm like, well, how am I not doing this? So I jumped in both feet last year and everything, and competed, and I'm taking a break right now. I may get back in it, but we'll see.
Yeah. So
But
Did real well too.
awesome. I mean, we talked a little bit about my experience. My experience was 1 year in that, and my dance partner Alan Tidwell was deaf, and he just wanted to compete. So he asked me to compete, and we went to that Nashville competition, and I missed the cue for the music to give to him, and we just did the best we could. So we just had fun with it. But when I got to the point where it was like $4,000 to buy your outfit to compete, I'm out.
Right.
I'm more of a social dancer. But I do enjoy doing the NTA and the accreditation. I'm the state Alabama state director for that. But
yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I shouldn't even be asking this on here, but is there any kind of competition between, say, like NTA and UCW? Is it UCW?
No, I think they work well together.
Work well together?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other accreditation associations other than the NTA?
I'm sure there are. That seems to be the prominent one in our sport. And then the other thing is the judges training. That's not an actual accreditation, but it is an accreditation in terms of you have to train with different people. You have to be tested. It's very similar to the process of NTA, but we have to demonstrate overall understanding of 8 different dances, the differences, the same, and be, like I said, tested by 2 different scrutineer folks.
Right. So those 8 dancers are 2-step, East
So
Coast,
we have
West Coast.
2-step West Coast. Those are our hybrid dances. Then we have our smooth dances, our waltz, nightclub, and triple two. And then our pitch dances are East Coast swing, cha-cha, and polka.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Another thing too, on the Marnie, when she was testing to be a judge, Kelly Gillette was who she had to go under, who founded, I believe,
NTA.
Yeah,
she was one of my testers. She was a fireball.
Oh, I've heard that she was very strict with everything, and she was right on target there. Yeah, so I know she passed away somewhat recently, and the NTA's been kind of reorganizing with all that. Yes, she apparently was a fireball. I did not know her, unfortunately.
Yeah, she was
so there's the competition side of dancing, and then there's the social side of dancing.
Right.
So kind of like give me your take on all that and how they kind of relate to each other.
Well, I think you always want a social side. I mean, you want that side of dancing that you go out and you just you're free. You don't have anybody judging you or trying to decide was your foot placement right. And I think we should all know how to social dance, how to dance with a stranger. And it is just dancing is like a conversation. One of the things we struggle with a little bit with group classes is, oh, well, this has to be my significant other to dance with them. No, it really doesn't. It's not it's a social thing. It's just like having a conversation with someone. So we work to try to share that with people, that it's fine to dance with other people, and we encourage people to rotate in classes so they get used to that, because you learn so much as a follower You learn how different people lead and
Right.
how to connect to them and interpret what they're asking you to do.
Absolutely.
And as a leader, I think you learn um, how to lead different people, all sizes and
Yeah.
shapes and personalities. So it's really good to be able to social dance. I would encourage everyone to know, if you go and learn a triple two, maybe that's not something that you can dance out as often as you can a two step or a West Coast swing, but it's really good to know some basics to lead a stranger. Um, because when you just lead your partner, you get into each other's habits. Oh, well, I know this means an outside
Right.
turn. Well,
Right.
maybe you weren't that clear on that.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, and then for the competition dancing, it really makes you, and like I said, especially pro-am, it makes you focus on yourself, get better, and make sure you have your own balance. You know which center to lead from or to move from, and
And
you understand how to do your weight transitions from one foot to the other. So I would say that's probably what competition taught me more than I learned in social dancing was, okay, how do you make yourself better, and getting feedback on how you make yourself better.
Right. Sorry, I was checking to see if we're still live. I think we are.
Okay.
can I say something that the difference for me personally between competition and social dancing?
Mhm.
Go ahead.
When you're competing, almost always your routine for that minute and a half for a competition is choreographed. So there's a sequence of moves you practice over and over and over to give the best performance out of those 10 or 15 moves, to where everything has all the style of that, the character and style of that dance, all your timing, rhythm, motion, all of those criteria you try to do. But when I social dance, it's with somebody else I probably don't know. I'm kind of having to feel them out and slowly go into the different moves that they're capable of doing, they're beginner, intermediate, or advanced, feeling that out. And then once I feel comfortable and I've locked into my partner, then I'm just listening to the music, and just whatever move just happens to just, flow off the music and where you're at and where the crowd is too, because you've got a lot more people typically to deal with your traffic versus on the
Right.
competition floor.
Yeah.
So they're the same, but two different animals for me.
Yeah.
And maybe being the leader is what I'm thinking about. The choreography, I really don't have to lead. I mean, I do and I don't, but I mean, it's choreographed. So the moves are supposed to be in a certain pattern. And if you practice over and over, your partner is expecting that, you know.
Right.
You got to show that you're leading it. You got to do certain things, whatever. But a stranger, a lot of times, even when I social dance, I feel like I'm a pretty good leader. I lead things, and the lady does something different. Okay?
So
I,
funny.
I was telling our friends in Arizona who are primarily competitive dancers and they're really wanting to do more social. I shared with them that if I go out social dancing and the lady follows 70% of what I lead, that's a really good dance.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like 50-50.
Yeah. I'm laughing because good friends of mine, Linda and Bill Selvage, I have hit him in the face so many times. Dancing. He's like, he comes up, he's like, whoa. Yeah, it's completely different when you're dancing out in the wild, is what I call it.
Yeah.
But,
It
what happens
is.
happens. But my experience with my dance partner that I was telling you about in Nashville at the competition, when I'd missed the cue and we didn't know, he didn't know when to start.
Right.
It just went, whatever happened after that happened. It was more
Right.
special dancing than it was our practice dance.
Right.
Well, in the competition last year, it would always happen at least once or twice each competition. The choreography would go out the window, and I was
Right.
just strictly social. And I was so glad that I was a social dancer for a long time.
Right.
Had some pretty decent moves, and Marnie's a great follow. And what was funny, even I think at Worlds, we danced West Coast Swing. The first time was one of the best by the choreography, the best performance. The next one was totally social. And and the scores were pretty close to the
Yeah,
same
They're
thing.
the same.
That
they
made
didn't
me
know,
feel
did
good.
they?
Right. They didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of funny. All right, so talk about a little bit about all the competitions that you go to and your what you do there with your judging and all that.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let's see, this year we just got back from Arizona Dance Classic. We've already done Orlando in
Peach State.
June and then Peach State in March.
No.
Coming up, we'll have Panama City, um, we'll have
Nashville.
Birmingham, and then
Nashville.
we'll have Whirls in Dallas.
No.
So it's typically 6 to 8 competitions a year, or 7 to 8 competitions a year. So they'll hire staff. So I'm typically on staff as a judge, as a pro-am teacher. So I'll have students that dance with me there. And then Rick and I will teach workshops there.
Okay.
Um, so
Me-
it's a chance to visit people all over the country and see, different folks from, and it's worldwide. I've been to Canada, but I haven't been to the European or the Asian events.
Okay. There's still
But
time to go.
there's still time to go. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, you were a dance festival owner in California, uh,
right.
but now you're working more with the Nashville Dance Fest. Is that right? And other ones?
No, I dance. We dance. We're hired by multiple events.
Okay, multiple.
So, as I was an event owner in San Diego, so I had an event for several years and then sold that event. Once I moved back to Alabama, it was a little difficult to run across the country. So sold that last year, and it's now the Tucson Dance Festival. So
Okay.
we moved it, helped to get moved to Arizona as well. But it's good to be part of the organization and keep up with what's happening in the dance community and how to make it better, how to improve the rules so people get the most out of a dance event experience, because it's a balance. And when you go to a dance event, there's a certain amount of competition that's going to go on all weekend, and it's typically UCWDC, which is our country circuit, WSDC, which is the swing circuit, West Coast swing circuit, and then there may be ballroom or hustle events going on at the same location. So the country, the UCWDC, is couples, pro-am, teams, and line dance. All of those occur under the UCWDC umbrella.
And is the National Dance Fest part of that?
It is. Nashville Dance Fest is coming up Labor Day weekend, and we are going to be there, and we'll be supporting that. And then the other piece I didn't mention is, in addition to the competitions, you also manage the social dancing. So, like Nashville Dance will have a dedicated line dance room and a dedicated couples dance room that you can go social dance while the competitions are going on, which is great.
And
So
do they have any rooms where they blend all types of dancers together?
they do. Well,
The main
usually
ballroom.
after the show, like if they have some kind of competition of the top level dancers, on a Saturday night, they'll open up the main ballroom where everything goes. So
Right.
they'll have country, they'll have couples dancing, they'll have line dancing. We talked a little bit about etiquette, so the two play together very well.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. We
It seems
always
like
look
they're
forward.
adding more line dance in the main ballrooms at the events we've been going
They
to
are.
this last year.
Oh
As
my
line
God,
dancing is getting more and more popular,
it's
they
so
throw out
great.
their, the popular line dances to mix in with the two step and the West Coast and cha cha and East Coast
Right,
swing and whatever.
right.
Definitely. Of course, that's my love is the line dancing part of it.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I love the other ones too, but that I'm mainly focused on that, and that's what there pretty much is around here. And of course, y'all want to
There
try to
is.
change that a little bit. And that's great.
I
Um,
think for line dancing, I have been more focused on line dancing the last 6 years as well, since I've been back, because it is what's popular here. And it's funny how similar in some ways, other than the connection and the lead follow part, but the basics of the dance as compared to couples dancing is very similar.
Hmm.
Being able to control your own body and move and your body movement and weight changes is very similar.
Yes,
So we would like to see more couples dancing as well as line dancing
Oh,
in Alabama,
definitely.
but they absolutely coexist. So,
Yes. Oh, we have a long history of it here, and people will say, "Did you go to Midnight Rodeo? Did you go to the
mhm.
Rusty Spur? Did you go to Roper's? Did you go to the Yellow Rose?"
Uh-huh.
And we're all in that same community, and we're
yeah.
Right.
looking for a place to come back where all of us can be in one big place.
That's right.
Venues, listen up. That's what we want to do. I want to be
It
on the same floor.
is.
Um,
That's certainly our goal.
yes. Actually, I've been approached by a couple of people for me to teach. They
Uh-huh.
said down at a place in Birmingham there was a 25,000 square foot facility, but I
Uh-huh.
don't. They didn't want to tell me the name of it or who it
Uh,
was. Hopefully, it's
uh,
Wow.
coming.
uh.
But anyway, what about country swing now? So that's really popular, but that's not in the competition circuit, or maybe they have their own competition.
They have their own competition circuit where they do country swing, line dance, and then a progressive version. It's not necessarily two step. I think they call it one step. There's several names for it, but then a progressive version. I think those three are in their umbrella.
Okay,
Um, and I don't recall the name of the organization right now.
okay. Um, Now, what about the youth that have just really taken on this, the Gen Zers or whatever?
Yeah.
Um, what are you saying with that? And what do you think about it?
I think it's great that they're taking it on, that they're interested, and I guess the same. You can take it as far as you want. You can get on TikTok and just learn the steps and go dance, or you can go take a local lesson and I think learn how to do it with more technique than you just learn off TikTok. I think spending that extra time to go to a class, you also get the camaraderie of the people in the class. Yeah, it's nice to see young people coming back out to dance because it seems like there was a while they didn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's really encouraging to see the younger crowd. And where we teach here, we teach in Auburn at the rec center on Mondays. We teach on Tuesdays at a local place in Dadeville called Martin's, and it's on a back deck, and so it's perfectly fine for kids to come. And we have a few kids that do come. I mean, 10-year-olds.
Oh,
12-year-olds, 14-year-olds that come and they don't mind dancing with us older folks. They're fine with it. They do like the faster music.
Oh
They
yeah.
want
yeah,
they
they
want
like to
to
jump around
dance.
more.
Damn, I love Miami, and they want to dance icy country.
Yeah,
They want to dance the fast ones.
that's right.
Footloose. They want to
Yeah.
dance all the fast ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we do all those as well.
We do,
Yeah,
yeah.
and we may not do it with the exact same energy as they do,
We
but we're doing
right.
it right.
We don't jump as high as them, but other than that, we're still doing the
Church
same
clap
thing.
example.
Right. Oh my goodness.
All right,
But
Yeah.
Rick.
you're talking about the young people. That the biggest group of young people I think of is like teenagers, college age,
Uh huh.
Hmm.
and they contacted Marnie last year for us to come down and do an hour and a half, 2 hours, and they were guessing somewhere between 100 and 150 students would come for this line dance party. It was the first week
Wow.
of of
The
the
semester.
semester for Auburn,
Hmm.
and that 150 people turned into almost 600 people,
Oh my goodness.
and it was very, very wow. I mean, it was a sea of people. We had asked some friends to come help us, and so Marnie will put them on the different walls. And the helper, I had to DJ whatever, so I wasn't out on the floor or whatever. And the helpers and Marnie could not see each other because there were so many people. It was so thick. It was
Yeah.
just
Wow.
amazing.
That
And it was fun. Marnie's, had gone to college at Auburn, so that's her college, her team, and Albie, the mascot, came and was jumping around and dancing with us too. And everybody was having a lot of fun with that.
Right.
Is that an ongoing event, or was that one
Yeah.
time?
We'll
That's
do it
ongoing.
again this week,
Okay,
this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cool. That's great. Great promotion for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the max I've taught in front of so far was at a corporate event. It's about
Mhm.
300 people.
That's a
Yeah.
lot.
And
That's a
sometimes I've
lot.
had to get up to about 150, 200. It just depends on
Right.
where it is. And
Right.
sometimes they're very intimate. It could be,
Yeah.
5 to 20 people. It just
That's
depends
right.
on where I am.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
that when you have that much crowd, the energy is off the charts. I love
It
that.
is. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. So there's a controversial question I was going to follow up on.
Okay.
I probably should not ask this, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
That's all right.
Some people have been talking about this online, and I experienced it going to other people's classes.
Hmm.
I'd like to spread myself around and get to
Right.
know the community and be an ambassador of it.
Right.
Um, and I've noticed a lot of people jumping in and teaching line dance
Hmm.
that may not necessarily have been trained or know the names of the steps or anything like that, but they're having fun and people
Right.
are dancing. So, I'm kind of torn on that.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's a disservice to teach people the wrong names of the steps or to not
Right.
name them
Right.
but at the same time, I love that they're dancing. So, what
Yeah.
is your take on this?
Um, I I think they should always use the step sheet as the gospel. This is what the step sheet says. If your local community is not teaching it that way, you need to make sure that people understand what the original step sheet is. And then if you choose to make that decision, it's very clear and people understand it. I think if you're teaching, you need to go get training. Maybe you start out teaching and you're enjoying it, but I think you need to go learn the steps correctly.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's something you skip. I don't think you just jump in and say, oh, because I'm a good line dancer, I'm going to be a good teacher. Some of the best teachers aren't the best dancers, but
Right.
they're very clear. They get their point across and they're articulate with what the step actually is. Um, I guess if you're a teacher in training, I understand it. I don't understand it if you're just learning off TikTok and not getting your own credentials.
Yeah, makes
So I kind of have a problem with that.
Rick, what do you think?
Well, I definitely, encourage people to get training, whatever. I mean, and I guess it was through my dance team and my instructor and Deborah Klecker with NTA. And I was even appalled that I didn't know about these classes. It's not just the training for NTA. I saw as something that anyone that's interested in dancing, especially line dance, because they cover and break down all the different steps so well.
Mm-hmm.
They break down the timing, the technique. Like Marnie talks a lot about being pitched forward for your sailor step. And then also because either online or you go to classes or you see people, I get frustrated because a triple step, a shuffle step, a lock step. I mean, they just mix everything together, and I get frustrated because well, a lock step is a certain thing, or a sailor step's this, or a coaster step, and then they don't even tell a lot of people to me that it's typically a triple, a one and two, one and two, whatever, and just I think misinformation spreads and then it can be a mess. I mean, I watch sometimes videos online and I was talking to Marnie asking her, is that a Monterey turn? I think that's what it is, but it was done so poorly, you could barely tell it was a Monterey turn.
Yeah,
We,
these things are happening. I tried when I teach. I use step sheets,
Mhm.
and I'll say, and actually, so a lot of step sheets are written wrong. So I'll
Yeah.
Poorly.
say, yeah, written poorly as well.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'll say, technically this is what this is called, but you're going to hear it called this, this, and this.
Right,
I'm going to call it this.
right,
Right.
And
right.
so that's how I try to handle that. And
Right.
We,
when I go out and I see, go to other people's classes and I know that they're not trained. I will
Right.
take that opportunity to say, "Hey, I am the state director of NTA, and I
Right.
can get you hooked up for
Awesome.
accreditation if you're interested." You know,
Right. Awesome.
I
That's
take
Well,
advantage of that.
we took
right.
a class recently, and I mean, won't even say where it was or whatever the instructor. And part of this line dance had Lindy to the right, Lindy to the left, and so it's a triple step or a chasse to the side, or and it's not it's with a rock step. And I've taken one of Marnie's classes where she goes so deep into East Coast swing footwork, which is what that is.
Mhm.
And this instructor just did all you got to do is stomp, 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 and a rock step. And then stomp, 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 and a rock step. And I'm like, that is not anything close to a Lindy.
Right.
They thought so, and they thought it was okay to teach it that way. And then, so all of the people learning from this person, that's how they do a Lindy. And it's just, I mean, I'm afraid it may get worse than that. Or
Yeah.
I don't know
But
how.
this wasn't in Alabama.
No, this is, no,
Well, I mean, I think it is an issue, and a lot of people are talking about it online, so that's why I brought it up. It is very
yeah.
controversial, highly controversial.
Oh, yeah.
But that, like the younger folks, maybe are not caring so much about the technique, and they just want to dance. I get that,
Right.
and
Right.
I welcome that people want to come in and dance. But as they grow in it, I hope that they will learn the more proper terminology, proper way to make the movements.
Right.
Um,
Um,
Because if they just learn it off TikTok or with their buddies, I guess the common thing I see is the incorrect rotation. They aren't facing the right wall because they think it's cool to face 90 degrees from that and jump to the right wall.
mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
like learn it the right way and then add your flair.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but with this conversation and different ideas, whatever, in Auburn area, we've had a few students that basically have told us, and this is a compliment from Marnie, the harder dances, they realize they need to come to our class on
Yes.
Monday night, and Marnie will truly teach you the steps, how
That.
to do it
Oh
correctly.
my gosh.
And
Yes.
I mean,
Wonderful.
that was very nice, but it's a reality that I wish more people would understand. You
Yes,
know,
the other night down at the little bit of Texas, I had someone tell me like that, they're basically almost apologizing and saying, "Hey, it's not going to be like your class,"
Right.
and they've referred my class, and I've had other people tell me that as well.
right,
That it's when I break it down step by step, it's so much more understandable. They
right,
understand the weight shifts and where maybe they're going wrong, that they can't get on the right foot or the correct foot in the next
Right.
step.
right,
You know,
Right.
and that it's not, if you don't have that slowed down teach of it, you
right.
don't understand that.
Right.
Well, Marnie too, and to me, the best line dance instructors, they say the steps differently. They'll describe the steps as you're dancing it. Rock step or triple step or lock step or coaster step. But Marnie, also being an engineer, she likes to do the numbers so that you understand the weight changes,
Mhm.
and
Right.
everything. So she'll do it both ways, back and forth. And I know some of our students that really enjoy the numbers will go to another class and they look at me like, what about the numbers? I want the numbers.
I really, I mean, I'm a bad one to talk to about that because a lot of times I skip the numbers if it's very like straight counting. But
Right.
if it's difficult counting, I'm going to throw that in there because people need to hear that.
Yeah.
Right.
And
To get
people
it.
learn differently. Some people learn with words, some learn with watching you, and
Right,
some learn with the numbers. So
right.
it's just trying to get across to as many people as possible.
Yes. And when it's a really fast dance, I tend to throw those numbers in because you can get all the words in to
Yeah.
call it.
Right. Right. Right.
Let's see. All right, so you talked about where you're teaching now. So tell us a little bit about this lakeside dancing, and like you have a studio that overlooks the
Yeah.
lake. Oh my
We
gosh, I
do.
got to go there.
No, you do. You have to come.
Yep.
It's during COVID, I decided to move back and be close to family. But it was expensive to live on the lake. So I actually, my mom gave me my grandparents' cabin to take and renovate.
Nice
So
gift.
it's a beautiful place on Lake Martin, and so in making this a forever home, it's like dancing has always been such a part of my life. So we added a master bedroom, and then we added a 3-car garage, and above the 3-car garage is the dance studio.
Wow,
So the
that's
dance
special.
studio, it's roughly 25 by 36. So it's a nice size.
Yeah. That's
Good
great.
hardwood, nice hardwood floor, and it has the best view of the lake in the house.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's awesome.
It's
Yeah.
distracting sometimes. We would be practicing, and I would see a boat or a guy catching
Yeah.
fish. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'd forget about dancing.
So it's all windows and mirrors, so you can
Yeah.
either see the lake or you're looking at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
So lately, y'all might be seeing bears out your window. Since we got bears in
Oh,
Central Alabama now.
right.
Um,
So,
so
yeah.
tell me a little bit more about if I can ask about your personal love story, and yet y'all seem to have very parallel lives. So how's
We
that
We
do.
lined
do.
up? Talk about that a little bit.
We didn't know each other. We both retired early and moved
Mhm.
back to Alabama within the same month of each other, but didn't know each other.
Right.
But again, we met at class and in Wetumpka and became buddies. You know, the nice thing about dancing is you create anywhere you go, you create a new group of friends.
Right.
Right.
So we became buddies, and then after I went through a divorce and asked Rick to help me teach, then we started doing more things together. Still as buddies, but eventually started dating.
Right.
So
Okay.
we've now we enjoy being retired. I mean, I think we both loved our careers, but it's great to be retired and have mornings free.
Right.
And then most of our scheduling is around either going to concerts or dancing.
Okay.
Yeah. Dance events or dance classes.
Dance
Right.
events, dance classes, private events. We spend a lot of time talking about dancing. We spend a lot of time dancing. Anytime we go out to music, even if there's not dancing, we seem to create it and get
Yeah.
out there and dance to the
And,
band when
and
there's no
around,
dance floor.
yeah, the people around the lake, they don't know Marnie's name or my name, but they call us, we're the dancers.
The
Yeah,
dance.
I mean, we went to a concert and the guy checking us in, hey, it's the dancers. And we're look, I don't know the
Yeah.
guy. I've never seen him. I
right.
know
I'm
of,
the
but
line
he
dance lady.
was.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So y'all started in Alabama, both from Alabama. You had
Yeah.
scientific careers.
Yeah.
hmm
You had dancing. You
Yeah.
yeah,
moved back to Alabama. You
and
retired. I mean, it's just like you're meant
right,
to be.
right. How?
Right.
Yeah, and then we met each other and figured out our our family is probably interrelated. We grew up close to each other, but didn't know each other till we moved back and retired.
Right.
So
That's so neat.
Her dad and my dad were both in construction, like management,
Really?
superintendent, project manager. And it would not be surprising to me. They both, passed away, whatever, but they probably knew one another. I
yeah,
mean, they
Yeah.
grew up 10 minutes away, whatever, the same age. They were both into like hot rods and cars and different things. And my dad eventually got into airplanes, and that's why I became, went in the Air Force and then got my job at Delta Aviation, but still growing up, my dad was real big into hot rods and racing, and so her dad was, and had a bunch of old antique cars and hot rods that he had.
right.
And like I've just shared with some people, we'll go to family get-togethers, and you get to talking to one of your cousins and or her cousin, and then I find out her cousin's married to like my cousin's brother. I mean, just it's like our families are
It's
really
intertwined for sure.
Right.
everything. And but
That's neat.
I had never lived as an adult, in this area. I mean, as a kid, we lived here and we moved around. We lived in Birmingham some. I actually lived in South Florida. In Atlanta, I didn't know anyone, or never met anyone. When I moved back here, it's like almost everybody I talked to, if you get to talk, they either grew up with your cousin or they're related to them or this, or they're
Right.
related to Marnie. Between the two of us, we can't go to like Walmart without running into somebody we know or a family member. And I've never experienced that. So it's a neat down home feeling for me, and,
Yeah.
and why I enjoy moving back here and being part of this community now.
It seems like it just works. It's
Yep.
meant to
Yeah.
be.
But our lives are really wild to how parallel they are.
Yeah.
Right.
To go out and make this big circle in our career. When I was at Delta, they sent me to Singapore and Japan, and they would send me to Europe and on travels. Marnie was going over to Taiwan and Korea and Singapore as well. So we
Right.
share that experience with our careers.
Right.
and everything.
That's neat. I wonder if y'all were there at the same time.
Yeah, probably.
We could have.
Yeah,
Probably.
based on everything else, I think that's
Yeah,
a
we
possibility.
probably were.
Yeah.
All right, so you mentioned something about community a minute ago, and I just want to go back to the community aspect of dancing and
Mhm.
how wonderful it is, what kind of friends you make, and you know, we even go on vacations together up to Nashville
Right.
and other places, and I'm going
Right.
to try to continue that with my trip the line fantastic trips that we started.
Oh yeah.
Um, but tell us a little bit about your group that you started on Facebook, which is I think it's East Alabama, West
Mhm.
Georgia or something group,
Mhm.
and how that's going.
You
Rick, you go ahead.
Well, I created a group, East Alabama, West Georgia, because we're kind of near the line. And we were going to still continue to go and do things over in Georgia and Atlanta. And now we started doing stuff in Columbus. We thought about going to Macon, but also we, do stuff in Birmingham. And I'm trying to promote and get all the dance instructors, different styles of dance, whether it's Latin. One lady I was trying to help promote, she does the Irish dancing.
Mhm.
But any classes or workshops or whatever, I try to put on there and promote it. And then a lot of times I find people in our area, this part of the country, whatever, and I just give them full access and don't even worry about being approved. They can just post and advertise their classes, everything on that. But we created another little more intimate group that's Lake Martin Social Dancers. It started off, it was just our students, and we used that as a storage location for video recaps. And, we
Okay.
do a class, whether it be line dancing or couples, we always do about a 2 to 3 minute little video at the end. And we started posting them on there so that they could go back, and use that as a resource.
Right.
Now we kind of use it as a social. We'll invite people or say, hey, we're all going to go to like a little bit of Texas the other day. We put it on there, create little events and everything. And that little group is growing. We have about, I think, 30 in that. I'm not even sure on the East Alabama,
Okay.
but I mean, to me, I love dancing the community. And another parallel with Marnie and I, she had this really nice, large family of, dance community in Phoenix. I had one in Atlanta. We're trying to do that here in Alabama. And we're doing that with that little Lake Martin social dancers and everything. And we're getting people to go with us and trips and everything. I am kind of modeling it and want to steal the idea of Bill Robinson in Atlanta that owns Peach State and Nashville. He has a club there called the Country Western Social Club, and if you're a member of their club, they have their line dances every Monday night, but they also go to the Braves game every year. They go to Lake Lanier for a picnic. They go to Gatlinburg for a long weekend. They're right now, they're at the beach. They go
Right.
down to Panama City for like
That's cool.
4 days. And when they organize it, they rent a lot of 2 and 3 bedroom condos. So the dance, members in the club from Atlanta go down there and they have bedrooms, in these condos. So they all kind of like a family unit. And one of the things for me in doing stuff for the social club was as a dancer, as a guy going out dancing, I meet all the ladies because that's who I'm dancing with. I'm cutting up with. Don't hardly know the guys. I mean, I know what they look like. I know their name. Hey, Bill, Joe, this and that. But when you go on a trip like that and you're hanging out in the living room of the condo with 2 or 3 other couples, you actually get to interact with the
Yes.
same sex.
Right.
The other guys, and you build friendships that way too. That way, when you go out social dancing, it's even more social because you've hung out with them and you got to know them, and it isn't just the dance partners and everything. And then Bill Robinson has done to me so much for the dance community. I've always supported him
Yes.
and do everything in the world, and I look up to him. I guess it's a big thing too. And
Right.
what they have, I envy living in Alabama now, and maybe we can do something, our version of it here.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, that's kind of what I want to do with the Wildflower Western
Mhm.
Travel, which is my travel
Mhm.
agency that I'm launching.
Right,
But mine is line dancing,
Right.
horses, country western music, all
right,
Right.
kind of together,
cool.
and doing trips around
Right,
that thing.
Right.
Right.
So that's kind of my goal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um,
Awesome.
and it's funny. I mean, I've been doing all those things my whole life, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden, I said, "Well, why don't I just put this in one?"
Yeah.
It's much
Yeah,
easier,
roll it.
right?
Smart thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I hope that the dance community will continue to grow, and the young people and the older people will continue to get along, and
Hmm.
we'll grow in knowledge together and things
Right.
like that, because
Yeah, help each
Right.
other
it's
out.
important to keep this industry going.
Yeah.
Right. It
Yeah.
Yeah.
is.
All right. So, do y'all have any final advice for anyone who wants to start dancing?
I would say go try it. Just, it doesn't cost that much to go try a lesson and see how you like it. And I think you'll be surprised at how welcoming people are
Yeah.
into a group. Like Rick said, in growing the community, just dancing here at Martin's the last 6 months, we've made so many friends that are
Oh yeah.
now going out to dinner with us, and we go concerts together as well as going to dance together.
Birthday
So
parties.
birthday parties, yeah. So I
Um,
think just try it. No, you think that everybody's watching you the first time you go out and
No.
everybody's judging you. They're really not. They're worried about their own thing.
Yeah.
So I would just encourage new dancers, especially to try it and be kind to yourself and give yourself time to learn it. You don't have to be perfect. I think it's more about getting out there, and you'll find that when you go to a line dance, all you can think about for that, whatever, hour, 2 hours, is you stay focused on your dance and you meet people and have fun. But it's so good for your mind as well as your body to just get yourself moving and don't be so critical of yourself.
Yeah,
yeah.
Give yourself
exactly.
a
I
chance
got
to learn.
I got two
Well,
famous sayings that I use in my classes. There are no mistakes. We only have variations. I
Right.
just
There
joke
you
out of that
go.
yeah.
every time. And then also, let's turn on the music and see what happens. I'm the queen of let's try it and see what happens, because
Hmm.
it doesn't
Right.
matter if we fall apart when we turn on
Yeah.
Right.
that music. We just
Not
turn
a
it
big
off
deal.
and practice again, and then
Right.
try it
Right.
again.
Right.
Right.
There's no pressure. This is fun.
Right. This is fun.
I've
Rick?
tried to encourage other guys because for me in my lifetime, the different activities I've done, dancing is by far and way ahead of everything else. Has been the most fun, the most rewarding,
Hmm.
and it has made me become to me a better man.
Hmm.
And in a world where growing up, I mean, when we were little, saying yes sir, yes ma'am, opening doors for ladies, all these chivalrous type things. I mean, they've tried to get rid of that in our society. And when I started dancing, I started realizing and talking to other ladies that were friends through the dance community. When the guy learns to dance, especially the couple stuff, he has to protect the lady on the dance floor from other dancers. He's actually in charge, or he has to have a game plan because, I think women get frustrated with a guy that doesn't know what he's doing, whatever. But learning to be a dancer, and I've even thought about writing a book about this because there's so many different things that men have lost because they aren't dancers. Because if you go back to me, like our grandparents' age and earlier, let's say World War II, almost everybody danced. All the men, they didn't even know a lot of dancing, but they could dance a little. And my whole life, I've been told too, women love a man that can dance.
Yes.
And
Amen.
yeah,
Amen.
and
We
people used to
agree.
tease me in Atlanta. I would go out dancing with 6 or 8 ladies, everywhere we went, because they always wanted at least one guy to dance
Right.
with.
That's right.
And
Come
my
on, Rick.
buddy,
Let's go.
Come on, Rick. Yeah.
and I'm like, why aren't more guys doing this? Because it's great. And to be honest, I'm a shy person. People never believe that, whatever. But dancing kind of got me out of my shell and made me, a little more, I'm a lot more confident, and because that's huge in today's
Yes.
world. And I believe my dancing is what made it all possible to meet somebody like Marnie and to become
Hmm.
in a relationship with her. Marnie's a very beautiful lady, and I would have been intimidated, in the past, whatever. But through dancing, I'm like, yeah, I got this, whatever. And
Right.
so, I mean, I don't understand why more guys don't try
Hey,
dancing.
that's right. Yeah, guys, that is the secret. You got to at least try to dance.
Yeah,
Okay,
Right. Right.
it's better if you really know how to dance, but just try. And I think there's so much fear
Yes.
surround around just stepping onto the floor. And I don't tend to think of that very much because of what I
Uh,
do. It's
Right.
second nature. I
right,
want to be on the floor, right?
Right.
But there are some people that
right.
want to dance so badly and they cannot take that first step. And I would highly encourage them to take that step
Oh
because
yeah.
you're going to learn step by step. And before you know it, you're going to be
Right.
all over that floor.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And dance lessons for me was a system. It was a structured thing because when I was a teenager and stuff, people just got out there and they just did it all, freestyle.
Right.
And some people look cool and other people look really goofy. But if it's structured, and for me, if I'm following the steps and doing what the teachers, then I must be doing something right, whatever. And then, it just all kind of falls into place. Now I can get, kind of goofy and funny and, freestyle. And I always like to do certain things to make Marnie giggle and laugh. And some of that. So she knows what I'm talking about.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really
Oh,
appreciate you.
Well, thank
well, thank you
you.
so much.
We appreciate it.
And
Yeah.
y'all need to follow Lakeside Dancers on Facebook. Also,
Mhm.
Rick Moore
Yeah.
Hmm.
and Marnie Mattei. Did I say it right? I got to practice that one. But yeah, follow them. Lost Marnie.
Yeah.
Follow them and also join the East Alabama, West Georgia Facebook group. And do you want people to join that Lake Martin Social Dancers? Is that mostly for that area?
It's for our. We have to do an invite. It's a private group. But if you come to our classes, there's one.
Sorry.
If you
Yeah.
come to our
Bye.
classes, everything, but the way it's set up on that group, you have to be friends with either Marnie and I, or maybe even somebody in the group, and we have to approve the membership. The
Okay.
other one is anybody can
It's
join.
open.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, thank y'all so much again. I
Thank
appreciate you.
you.
And maybe we'll get together and do some lessons for me.
That
Okay.
sounds
I would love that.
wonderful.
I'd love to be
Okay.
reminded of all the things I learned for two-step years ago.
Right. Oh, yeah.
All right.
I want to
Absolutely.
have that two-step community back here for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
All right,
right.
guys. Thank
All
you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Take
Make
care.
sure y'all follow Wildflower Western Travel, Wildflower Western Lifestyle, and we'll see y'all on the next time.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you so much.
Have a good day.
Bye.